This is a HeadGum podcast.
No way.
Yeah, I try to give it a little.
That's an interpretation.
Yeah.
Do you remember Eddie Murphy's song? Jimmy wanted. What does he say? He's like, Jimmy got soul. Oh, that's what it is. Like Jimmy got soul. Jimmy got soul. Jimmy got soul. Jimmy got soul.
Honestly, if I had more battery power, I would look up all the lyrics and I would sing every
Jimmy got
song.
soul.
Yeah, that was really embarrassing.
When he rapped, the Jimmy rap.
That's
the Jimmy rap.
Wait, hold on.
I thought it was Jimmy Want Mo.
Oh, man.
I thought it was Jimmy Want Mo.
Oh, I can't wait.
That
Let's
performance
get
was
into it.
embarrassing.
Oh, I was loving it. No, I was loving it. I was like, yeah, Jimmy.
You mean the best part of the movie?
Yo, I was like, give it to him, Jimmy.
Yeah, I like that part.
The embarrassing part was the best part of the movie.
No.
No. What about the fake Jackson 5?
Oh, man, I don't want to talk about that.
Oh,
Wait,
yes.
they sang. I was trying to remember what the song that they were singing.
And
They were like,
he was like, I want to talk to Dina.
Yeah.
Like the Diana Ross moment.
But their song was like, girl meets boy, boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and boy meets girl. I was like, that's the worst fake song ever.
Bro, I can't deal with the fake. Yo,
No, but
They were like E, F, G, H, I, J. You were like, wait a second.
Hey, you just took the other words? You just took the other letters?
You thieves. They throw in just look over your shoulder for like no reason. I know. Like, why did
he did.
Why did he say
At
said
the
something
end,
like that, right?
Yeah, he was like, I love you, girl.
I love you.
Yeah,
like,
he's like, I love you, girl. Girl meets boy, boy meets
Stop
girl.
it.
But no one remembers that song. You know what song they remember, John?
I just wrote that. Oh, yeah.
No, John, you want to sing it. I see it in your eyes right now.
No way.
What?
I'm living my life without you.
I don't believe you. I feel like you ain't singing it.
No way.
I don't feel it yet.
I'm living my life without you.
You're the best man I've ever known. There's no way that I could ever go. No way.
Literally, everyone has turned off this podcast. There's not one person still listening.
I'm looking at John.
And then,
James is staring at me like, he gonna say nothing to me? He gonna say nothing to me? I'm gonna just start.
all right, it's time to start the show.
Jonathan Braylock, James III, Jerah Milligan.
What more can I say? You know what it is.
Black men can't jump. Black actors, man. Black actors. All right.
Welcome to Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood.
Hollywood City.
I haven't come up with a thing yet.
Good, so don't do any of it.
All right.
Oh, no, did you just take the whiz? Was that the
That
whiz?
was almost the whiz.
That was the whiz,
Thank
bro.
you for noticing.
Oh,
Bro,
okay.
I know
for
my black
noticing.
movies. Respect.
We're not reviewing that movie.
I know, but it's related.
Okay, so the thing is, James has been doing like a gunshot noise
And we
to
don't
introduce
believe
the
in that.
show, and we told him to stop doing that.
Like it's like sort of, he says welcome, and then
I say-
he says Hollywood City, and then I usually go blah blah blah.
Oh, yeah. It's like a
Yeah, but I see.
I told him to do
that's what
that.
they say to do that. I go blah blah. I'm trying to.
Now you're embarrassed.
Is that a gunshot?
It's kind of like, but I think that's what it's supposed to be.
That is what it's supposed to be.
It's in my mind. I'm just celebrating.
Oh, you celebrate with
celebrating with
gunshots.
gunshots.
Are you in the hood? You shooting in the sky before
I'm
July?
just saying, you can be anywhere and shoot guns in the sky.
Let's. I'm Jonathan Braylock. We got.
Jerah Milligan.
James the Third.
Hold on, wait.
Okay, we got a special guest.
I gotta do drums. Wait for it.
Okay. He likes to do drums when we introduce our
Hold on, man.
special guest.
Hold on.
God, it's like a real drummer's in there.
Thank you.
So nice.
Honestly, thank you.
I need to work on my sarcasm.
No, thank
I felt like you were being real about it.
All right, Franchesca Ramsey is here, everybody.
I like those
Star,
drums.
or I guess former star of the MTV show Decoded.
No, I'm
No,
not
you
a
still
former.
doing it.
You're still a star.
You still a star.
Oh yeah, baby, you're still a
You
star.
still a star. That thing.
Yeah. 100%.
But
I'm like
also,
the Dina of
you are the.
MTV Decoded.
Okay.
I mean, well,
okay.
maybe
No, wait,
not. I have a
wait.
little more
Aren't
talent.
you the Effie?
Well, I mean, there is no Effie. There's only me.
That's true.
Yeah.
It is only you.
Yeah. So
You the Beyonce.
You're all of them.
You're all of
Effie,
them.
You're the Dina. You're the Laurel.
the other one, Laurel.
Laurel.
Y'all had no shade in that. Yeah, you know.
But also a writer for The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore on Comedy
Yeah.
Central.
Boop, boop.
And we are reviewing the film Dreamgirls, 2006.
We a dream girls.
We'll always care.
Oh, there it is.
I guess we're over here, singing. So I thought that maybe I would sing.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, that was great.
fun.
That was really good.
That was
be
great.
fun.
I'm gonna refrain from singing. After that, I don't think
We're all embarrassed now. Okay, so this is we have a bunch of stars here. We got Beyonce Knowles, Jennifer Hudson,
Jamie Foxx.
Eddie Murphy.
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover's up in this
Why
joint.
you make him sound like he's slave?
Danny Glover.
That wasn't a bad. That's not that bad. I think.
Jaleel Michael White, isn't it?
Yeah, little cameo. Braylock sent a text about that. He's like, "Hey man, I was like Jamal White is in this movie."
It's Jaleel. It's Jaleel.
No, right, but
He said Jamal. He said Jamal. He said Jamal White.
That's not his name.
Wait a minute.
Yo, why you guys got to put me on blast?
I'm like, who's Jamal, man?
It's been a while.
I was
It's been a
really
while.
excited to see him.
I know. I was like, oh snap, he's in this movie. He's only in that one
I
scene
thought he
for
was
that
in- we
one-
had-
for those like
I
two
know.
lines.
But wait,
Poor
but we
guy.
also got it. Anika
Jaleel
Noni
White.
Rose is in it.
Yeah,
And
Anika.
Keith Robinson.
Keith Robinson played CC.
CC.
Yeah.
CC, yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I remember all the characters' names in this movie. I don't know why.
What? Really?
I think
Yeah.
they say it a lot. They say
I
everybody's
know,
names a
but-
lot. Like
Yeah,
like
that's
most.
definitely like a musical thing. It's like,
Yeah.
listen to me, Cece, Cece, what are you
true.
doing over there? Like,
Yeah.
Like you always say the person's
true.
name
That's true.
before.
It's that's the only way you can develop character in story.
Yeah.
It's by saying their name. Like, oh, I know who that is.
Yes.
So, a couple of interesting things about this film. First of all, it came out in 2006, like around Christmas time. It was at the time. I don't know if it still is, but I think at the time it was the biggest production budget for an all-black cast.
Yep. It beat out the Wiz.
It was like something like $80 million it cost to make.
Wow.
Yeah, and it made like $155 million
Yeah.
internationally. Pretty freaking good.
Yeah, it did really well.
And it won 2 Oscars.
One for Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson won Best Supporting Actress, and then it won like Best
song.
Sound mixing.
no,
Sound
not
mixing.
song.
Sound mixing.
Like
Sound
sound
mixing.
mixing.
Sound
Yeah.
mixing.
It was not. So this was the year. I feel like
Walk
there
the
were
Line was
four.
nominated.
There were 4 songs nominated for original song. 3 of them were from Dreamgirls, and like
Yeah.
one was from I guess Walk the Line or
Yeah, Walk
another
the Line was
movie.
the shit.
And that's the one that won.
And that's the one that won.
Yeah.
And people thought like, oh, the 3 because there wasn't a
canceled each
clear
other out.
Canceled each
favorite,
other out.
They canceled each other out. Because it's also original song, like so it wasn't.
Well, Listen was the
It was like-
original song.
It was like listen, but then also
Patience
the
or
Patience
something.
song,
And then one more that was also that won some other awards.
Did Jimmy
But
Womo get
I think the one that won the what?
Did Jimmy Womo?
It wasn't an original song.
I don't think that was
Jimmy Wo-
original.
It wasn't.
I
wasn't original.
I hate that song. Why do you guys like that
Francesca
one?
Ramsey.
You hear how it sounds?
Because Eddie
Jimmy
Murphy
Womo?
walked out and just
He walked out.
His pants.
So
Right.
I know that
He
was
pulled the
awesome.
Usher before Usher.
yes.
Oh yeah, I bought it back then.
So
You brought him back to the future. Did you bring in because Dreamgirls is before? All right, fine.
what are you talking about? Anyway, this movie is based off this. Wait. This movie is based off of a 1987, 88,
I
85.
thought it was like 70s.
It's 70s. It's like 78,
Yeah,
79. It's
so
like
the
a
first
play.
production.
No.
Hold up.
Definitely
No,
in the 80s.
The first production is like 81.
Yeah.
The first Broadway production
Broadway
is like 81,
production.
but that doesn't mean that's the first.
Wait.
Let me check real quick.
I
I
feel like
know.
it came out
I
in
know
the
this
70s.
though. It
Well,
won
it's-
like Tonys. It won like
Oh, it was a
4
big deal.
Tonys.
But Dreamgirls, the musical, like the play, was based on Sparkle, which was kind of like the
interesting.
70s. It's almost the same
Right.
movie. It's like,
Yeah.
the girl group that wants to make it, and
Yeah.
they're sisters, and one girl becomes the star, and she's not supposed to be the star.
Oh,
type
yeah,
thing.
You talking about that Mariah Carey movie?
No.
You're thinking of Glitter.
You're thinking
Oh,
of Glitter.
damn.
That's another
Yeah,
fun party favorite.
Okay.
I
This
get
one's
it.
Sparkle.
No, but when Glitter came out, people were like Sparkle, Right? I mean, right? When Glitter came out, they were like, this is Sparks.
Don't help me.
No, I don't think. I mean, Glitter.
I'm just trying to stop.
Glitter was actually Mariah Carey's story. Like it was
Yeah, it
about
was
Mariah,
Mariah
Carey.
Carey.
I never saw it.
Dreamgirls is more. It's a musical, but it's very like heavily influenced by Motown, like actual
It's
like
the Supremes.
It bothers me about that's
the
one of
Supremes, but they also like even though Eddie Murphy's character isn't Marvin Gaye, like that Patience song was very much similar to Marvin Gaye's.
Based on Marvin Gaye.
What's going on?
yeah.
And was it?
So,
And Barry Gordy.
Well, Barry Gordy
was like
supposed to
didn't
be
want.
the main guy. Like,
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is
Jamie
basically
Foxx,
Barry
yeah.
Gordy.
Yeah.
Because they basically even make like Rainbow Records in the movie is essentially Motown because it's like the number one. He has like the biggest record.
he has a blue
independent record.
Cadillac shop.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
and they started in automotives
yeah.
also.
And they placed the film in Detroit, even though the musical was in Chicago apparently.
And he has a relationship with the lead, and Barry
Yep.
Gordy had a relationship
Relationship
with Diana Ross.
Diana Ross. So it's like very very similar.
Smokey Robinson.
Smokey
technically.
Robinson, CC, are one and the same.
But, and then what's the other? Oh, right. The other weird factoid that I read was that Dreamgirls was the first movie to lead the nominations that year. Like, it got 8 Academy Award nominations, but didn't get nominated for Best Picture. Like, no other film has, like, had the most nominations that year for the Academy Awards and not also been nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Bro, this was a movie that wasn't about slaves.
Oh,
What y'all movie?
there's
Wait.
the tea.
Like, what we about? I'm sorry, but like, people
no.
expect what?
Okay.
What? Don't get. Whoa, we started yet?
So let's get into it.
I mean, we have
There was
started.
no way
We're
this
a
movie
few
was about
minutes
to
in
get-
at this point.
Oh, how many minutes in? Boom, we got
Just a few
8
minutes
minutes in. Let's do it. Let's start it.
But should we go around with initial thoughts first?
Initial thoughts? Yes.
Francesca, you could start.
I thought it was better than I remembered, but still not that great.
Okay.
Yes.
Like not terrible. Like it's not horrible, but it's a musical film. Like it's not
musical
very
film.
deep. Like it's kind of the pacing is a little weird. Like suddenly, like I'm okay with people busting out into song, but the way that it happens in the film is like very like stilted and strange. I don't know. Like I had fun. I feel like it was really long and kind of dragged.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
I was into the wigs though. Like
Into the wigs.
Yes, those wigs.
there was a
Yeah.
lot of bad wigs.
Oh, yes.
Beyonce always had the best ones. Clearly. She was like, bitch, there are some things we cannot do. She was like, I'm not getting that Oscar, but I will get that lace front. Like, always. She was in the lace front.
That's real.
But
though.
wasn't
She always had the best
weren't
wigs.
they supposed to have bad wigs in the beginning? Wasn't
Yeah,
that
but
the
there
whole-
were some.
just
Just through the evolution of the
Yeah.
film.
It didn't really get better.
There were
100%.
times where like they were singing backup for Jimmy and Anika and Jennifer Hudson, their wigs looked a mess, and then Beyonce's was like
had the
laid.
lace front. I'm happy
Hers
you
was
said that.
perfect.
Oh,
So like
right.
there were times like that where it's like kind of
that
like,
might have been on purpose.
Can I ask you to do
alluding
one thing right now?
alluding.
Yeah, that
Francesca,
she was
can you
gonna-
break now with the lace front?
Can I break?
Can you just
can I
tell me what it is? I
Oh.
feel like this is one of the first times we've ever been able to talk about wigs.
Oh, that's true.
And
We
it's like,
have a
can
lot
you
of
tell
white.
people what it is.
Oh,
We-
like
I
people
act
are
like
like,
we know what it is.
What? So like it's a wig, but the front of the wig has like a little lace edge. It's really a lace front so that you can actually blend it with your hairline so it looks like you have like real baby hairs. And then you actually kind of like put your, I've never worn one, so I don't know exactly how they do it, but they like put the makeup on the lace
wow.
so that it blends into, so there's like no separation between where you can see your wig and your head.
head,
It
yeah.
looks like seamless.
And so what we're trying to say is that Beyonce's was on point, right? Like that
Hers
was
were the
just-
best ones. Everyone
That's
else's was like
honestly-
kind of like tilted to the side. You know what I mean? Everyone
right.
else's was just like a little rough. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a fun. It was interesting for me to watch with like a more critical eye. So I'm kind of interested to hear what you
Yeah.
all saw, like looking at it again.
Yeah. You want to go, James?
I mean, yeah, I'll go. My initial thoughts are Eddie Murphy killed the first time I saw it, and he killed yet again the second time I saw it. And he still remains my favorite part of the movie. It's a bright movie, but like I feel like it feels too clean to me. But like it's great to see. Here's the thing. The moment when they sing "And I Am Telling You." Just the way that is shot is why I don't think that movie musicals should be a thing. Because so here's the thing, like
Do you not like any movie musicals? By the way,
I don't. I mean, this guy also directed Chicago, which like I enjoyed that as well. But like, it's not. It's.
But when it won Best Picture, you were like, why?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I was like, why, but yeah, probably. But here's my thing, and not to completely shit on movie musicals, but that scene in particular, like they do a lot of wide shots so that we can like try to get the sense of like, you know, this is what it would be like. There's this woman by herself and she's like singing this beautiful song.
Right.
But it's like you really can't connect in the way that you would if you were seeing it live. So like, and again, like I said.
And Jennifer Hudson's doing this like weird shadow boxing thing the whole time. She's like,
yeah. And so,
She's like, who are you fighting, girl? It was very weird.
But like, if you saw just someone standing there alone on stage doing the same thing,
it would have been.
You would be affected in a
yes.
totally different way, right? Mm-hmm. So like, and again, this isn't like never do movie musicals, even though that is kind of the way I feel. You know, like just it's hard. It's hard to connect. It's hard to connect to movies like this.
Interesting. Do you want me to go?
Sure. You're smiling.
I like this movie way more than any of you, I guess. I think, here's the thing, though. I do like movie musicals. I love Chicago. Chicago blew me away the first time I saw it, and I didn't feel like this movie was as good as Chicago, but it was like, still, in terms of like all of the movie musicals, it like ranks up there. Like, some of them are terrible. Like Rent, I didn't like at all. And like...
Into the Woods? What do you think?
Into the Woods was average for me.
Yeah, same.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, I liked Sweeney Todd probably because I was like, what's that?
I like Sweeney Todd.
I couldn't watch it because I couldn't get through it because of Johnny Depp and his
and Helena Bonham Carter. I just,
I couldn't watch it.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I was into that. I like that, and I liked Dreamgirls. I actually liked it more. I liked it more this time than I did the first time. Maybe because I think the first time I saw it, it kind of was like I had higher expectations because there was just so many people in the movie, and I was like, oh my god, this movie's going to be amazing. And this is also like peak Jamie Foxx time too.
Oh, this is right. This is
Definitely
This is like 2 or 3 years after
Let me
he won an
tell
Oscar.
you,
Jamie Foxx time.
Let me tell you, I was like, when he was casting this, the whole cast was great. But when he was casting it, I was like, oh man.
So the first person they got to, by the way, was Beyonce.
But this is the thing, though. I did my digging, and they were trying to make this movie for
a long time.
Because there was one iteration, which this casting is so weird to me, where it was supposed to be Lauryn Hill as Dina.
Yes.
Which I don't see at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
I can see Lauryn Hill as Dina.
There was I'm trying to think. There was a lot of. They went through just like a lot of times.
It was like Whitney Houston was up for one,
and Whitney Houston was arguing with them because she felt Dina needed more songs.
Yeah, basically she wanted,
right? I mean,
so did Beyonce.
But Whitney,
Listen.
But apparently, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but I read like Whitney wanted to sing.
And I'm telling you,
but she wanted to be Dina, but also wanted to sing, and I'm telling you. And they were like, no.
That's not how that works.
And she's like, well, then I'm not doing it. And they're like, guess we're not doing this movie.
Yeah.
But the one with, I forgot which one.
Whitney would have killed.
If it was with Whitney or who, there was another, I don't know if it was, maybe it couldn't have been Tina Turner.
How frequently, or in those iterations though, was Eddie involved? Because I was just
no, he wasn't involved until this last one.
Because I was just watching an interview with him like after he won the Golden Globe, and he was talking about how like, man, I've always been interested in Dreamgirls, but it was when the casting was right was when I was on board.
Yeah,
so,
maybe that makes sense. Maybe they were talking to him, but it was. What I do know, though, was that they wanted, like, they were going to make the movie. Like, they were definitely going to make the movie after the success of another movie musical. Or after the success of... No, after the success of the Tina Turner film, What's Love Got to Do with It. But then,
that far back?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But then...
That was a long time.
But then the movie... But then another movie came out...
Everything I've said about movie musicals. No, sorry.
There was another movie came out that was a biopic, and it didn't do well. And then they were like, "Oh, never mind, we can't do this."
Well, and Spike Lee was attached at one point.
It's
like,
so crazy.
There was a lot of people
There's
trying
a
to
lot.
get this movie made.
So I didn't like the reason I liked the film though was because one, like I thought the music was pretty good. There was a part there was a part in the middle, probably right after No Way, that song. Wait, what's that song?
And I'm
No,
telling
no,
you, I'm
no,
not
no.
telling you.
Oh, sorry.
After And I'm Telling You, because that song was so powerful, like the next like 2 or 3 songs after, you're kind of like,
Well,
all
then,
right,
'cause
when
she's
is
not-
this movie?
'cause she's not-
I
Because
watched
she's not
it.
in the movie after that for a
yeah,
while.
she doesn't come back, and then you're like, you're kind of like, all right, actually, all right, let's start. And I remember checking the time, and I was like, oh damn, there's
still
still
a
another
lot.
hour out of this film.
Jerah and I watched.
We watched it, and I was like, do I need to watch this movie after I heard that song? I was like, can we stop?
But
Those
there
are the
is-
best
I thought
10
there was
minutes of the
still,
movie.
I still thought there was great stuff after that. And I loved her song. She had another
I'm
song.
Changing is the jam. That's like the sleeper
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
People sleep on that song.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Jimmy rap. You
I
know what
love
I mean?
that.
Like, the Jimmy rap.
Jimmy
No,
won't
no. Everyone, I am the guest, and I'm putting a fucking squash on the Jimmy song. I hate that song. It's a fucking embarrassing.
I think that's the song that people were like, thought he was going to win the. So Eddie Murphy was supposed to, like,
He
Everybody,
won.
he won the Golden Globe, and everybody
And the
thought.
SAG.
And the SAG.
And everyone thought he was going to win the Oscar.
Can I just say something maybe slightly controversial?
Oh, here we go.
I just don't think Eddie Murphy's voice is that good. Like it's not.
you're not
it's not
wrong.
Yeah.
bad.
No,
like,
you're not wrong.
Especially when they sang like I guess the Marvin Gaye-esque song,
Right.
Yes.
and then Nika Nani Rose is just like belting her face off, and then
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy sings, and you're just like, you're like under the note. You're like,
Totally. I mean, like at that song, yeah.
Francesca, I don't want to say I disagree, but all I'm saying is when Eddie sang, not only was I reminded of "Party All the Time," all right, his classic hits, but Eddie made me feel comfortable singing that song after him. I was like,
Oh,
you know
that's
what?
why you like
That's
it.
why I was like, oh, I can hit that.
You're like, you
Jimmy,
can sing.
Jimmy.
And like,
That's hilarious.
and like and just because, and this is very much super fan stuff that I'm saying right now.
Okay.
But like when he talks about his portrayal of the role, right? Like he based it off of the song "Fake Your Way to the Top," right? So like,
Oh, yeah.
so like everything. So like the fact that he is under, like
He's
is
not-
under,
yeah.
is like why he's so good in it to me.
Okay, that makes sense. And so it's a character choice based on his own
Based on his own limitations.
Yeah,
But-
right. Yeah, kinda.
But exactly, they were like, they said to him, they were like, we're gonna have you doing splits. You're gonna be doing all these like, I can't, like
Yeah.
I got, it has to look like I'm doing something, not like I
can.
can't actually do
Right.
it. Anyway,
Yeah. I guess for me it was like ultimately just I thought the movie was fun, and then that the things that were supposed to be emotional hit for me pretty much for the most part. And there were parts that dragged, and there's like I was like, oh, Jamie can't really sing, though I thought his acting was great. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And
oh no,
I didn't think
man.
Beyonce's
you said
acting,
it before we said it.
I didn't think Beyonce's acting was great,
But see, I remember her acting being worse than when I watched
yeah,
Yes,
but I
I
didn't think
agree
it
with
was.
that.
I didn't think it was distracting. It wasn't distracting. I was like, oh, she's not.
it. Her character's not very deep.
Her character's not very.
You know
deep.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know. I feel like I always get anxiety anytime I think about saying something critical of Beyonce because I feel.
Oh, yeah, that's
you
true. We
can't
could
say
die.
something critical about me.
Oh, Beyonce
Wait,
will
by the
come
way,
after
we're
you.
not saying anything critical about
like,
Beyonce.
don't get me
Don't talk about
wrong.
the
Don't get me
BR.
wrong. I'm not
Yeah.
saying anything negative.
We really are not
about
saying.
her.
There
The
are
whole
snipers
time,
trained
though.
on us right now during this discussion.
But the
You
character,
could just hear the hive.
Yeah, don't do it.
the character is just not very. There's just like not a lot of range. I mean, that's why they added, or that's why
listen,
she
I
added
mean,
that song
exactly.
because she wanted, some more
Yeah.
depth and to show.
Wait, which
that
is
she-
the song that she added?
Listen.
where she
Oh,
likes,
wow.
where she really
leaves.
kind of belts and she
Yeah.
gets like really into it because
That is a good song.
all of the
That's
other
like the last
songs
song
are
she
very
sings, yeah.
understated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me, that kind of really does solidify the fact that it is about the Supremes because Diana Ross's voice is good, but it's a very
Yeah.
soothing, light. She's not belting. You know what I mean? She's not growling or anything. But I think Beyonce was like, I want y'all to know I can.
I know.
See,
I
thought it
don't think
was,
she. I think she didn't want to be outsung by.
Yeah, see, I thought it was like she was
No.
on set with Jennifer Hudson saying, she's like, oh, fuck this.
Exactly.
Write me a song.
100%.
Write me
no,
a
that
new
is
song.
absolutely what happened. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was like, let's add this song in there.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
She was outshone by Jennifer Hudson, though.
Yeah,
I have so
because
many-
that's
okay.
that's the nature of that role
That
and
role
that, and
is
that,
for
and
that,
that
though.
production, right? But
But that's also like,
But then,
career.
I
Like,
guess then Whitney Houston wasn't wrong then when she was like, I don't want to be.
Well, no, but I also think that Jennifer Hudson's
Yes.
character is that character you want, whereas like the movie isn't like you're the character that gets to chew up the scenery. Like you're not in the whole movie. You get to come, show up, do whatever you want, and you're remembered because of those scenes are very brief and it's very powerful, and you dip out. So she had that role.
She was the star. I mean, it's a weird thing because it's like Dina's character, Beyonce's character, is the star, but Effie is the star.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I don't know. I kind of thought it was interesting that Beyonce would do a movie like this because there were so many like allusions to Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
So many.
Like she was in a girl group, and even when they're like, "Oh, we're putting Dina first because she's like palatable to white people," like what I thought of was like all of this backlash with Lemonade, where white people were like, "What the fuck, Beyonce?" Like it was kind of like the same to me in the sense that like in Destiny's Child, she's very talented, but like they put the light skinned girl up front, and then like it wasn't Kelly,
And then they
and then they cut the other girls.
And the other girl was supposed to be one of the lead singers. What was her name?
Latoya
Latoya
Luckett,
Luckett.
and then like they brought in Michelle, so Michelle was like the replacement.
She was
Latoya Luckett, and there was another girl.
It was another one, but Latoya
They started
was
with four.
like,
There was
right.
4, yeah.
I remember 4 from the beginning.
I mean,
But what-
because that's still my favorite Destiny's Child album. too.
Writings on the Wall.
Writings on the Wall.
Writings on the Wall.
That's the one.
yeah.
Sorry.
So I kind of thought that was interesting because I
me
wouldn't
too.
think that she would want to be
yeah.
have anyone like start to think that, because there was so much drama when those girls got cut and all that rearranging happened, and I would never go solo, and then she went solo.
Yeah, I know.
So I would
Holy
think that she
crap.
would kind of be afraid to do a role like this that kind of mirrors her career. So that was weird to me.
wanted
But
to
even
be an
all
Oscar
this,
movie,
us
man.
talking about all of this is why I like this movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let me tell you my initial thoughts. I didn't like this movie. There's a lot that I don't like about this movie. I almost disagree with almost everything Jonathan has said about this movie. Like legit. Like, and I don't. The reason I don't like this movie. James was there. I was very frustrated during this movie. This movie in the first 40 minutes had 3 montages. I've never seen a movie with 3.
It's a musical.
That's what I said.
That's what he said.
He said 3 montages.
That's what he
Like,
said.
it's a musical.
That's what he said. But name me. But I'm gonna give you a second to think about this for a second. While I do I did the same thing to you. Think about Walk the Line. Think about
Walk the
think
Line's
about
not a
like
musical.
5. Think about 5 musicals right now, and think about how many montages you see in the first 30 minutes.
Yes. Because if you're comparing,
Give me a second. No, take a second.
all
Think
right,
about them
Sweeney
before.
Todd.
Oh no, brother. It's not 3 in the first. No,
But the reason there are montages,
there's not that many montages.
The thing about the
that's not true.
montages, and I know that you're just giving your initial thoughts, so we shouldn't break it down too much. But I think that the reason that there are montages is if you were doing it on stage, what would happen is like during that song, like the whole set would move behind you, and then
and you
another
would
set
see,
would
like,
come
you
in,
would
and then
see
it'd be like
things happening
Yeah.
in the corner and over here
and
as they're singing.
When you said that to me, I was already making a note of like, this is probably better storytelling than what you would see on stage. I've never seen this on stage, but I was
so
like,
too, because they were like they would sing a song, and the song would actually not. It would be like they're performing on stage, and as they're performing on stage, the reason the montage was happening is like they're performing on stage, and then it's showing you like as they're singing, here's the rise in popularity that's happening. And I realized we didn't tell. We usually give a summary of the movie.
No, this Dreamgirls.
It's Dreamgirls. They get it. All right. So again,
No, keep going.
there's a couple things that I feel like I'm not comfortable actually talking about why I didn't like it, because I don't like talking about people's acting, because I just feel like as a non-working actor, I just can't like comment because they're clearly in a movie. This movie has some bad acting in it. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a scene at the very end of this movie between Jamie Foxx and Beyonce. I'm not talking bad about Beyonce, y'all. I'm not talking bad about Beyonce.
And he's also, just for the ether, he's not talking bad about Jamie Foxx.
Beyonce, even the Beehive knows though that.
No, they know she's not a strong actor.
I'm not listening.
Nobody's
I'm not saying it.
talking about Austin Powers 3 being like Beyonce's role.
Hey,
Or
bro.
what's that movie
As
where?
Foxy
Where's the
Cleopatra.
movie where her boyfriend's like cheating on her?
Obsessed.
And
It's just
she's
Alba.
like, oh God, yeah, that's
It's just Alba.
That's a pretty rough one.
I mean, also I think the directing in this movie was very.
I disagree with that.
It's very what? He hasn't said what it is yet.
I thought it was decent. I thought it was decent.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think I wasn't wowed. I didn't feel like the emotional connection you felt. Meh. At times I was like, this is cute. Like when Jennifer Hudson wasn't on screen, I was like, when Jennifer Hudson or Eddie Murphy weren't on screen, I was like, I don't need to watch
Okay,
this.
but do you think Jennifer Hudson deserved an Oscar?
Oh, don't ask me that.
No.
Oh,
because I want to talk about, because we talked about this when we were watching it.
Oh,
Wait, but
we
now
did.
time out.
Don't ask me that.
Do you think that Eddie Murphy deserved an Oscar? That he was snubbed?
That year, he lost to Syriana. Like, he lost to George
No.
Clooney killed in
Did he
Syriana.
lose to George Clooney? I thought he lost to Alan Arkin.
He lost to George Clooney and Syriana. George Clooney killed that year. If this is the same year.
Yeah, I don't think that Eddie Murphy gave an Oscar-worthy
I
performance.
don't think he did. The thing about Jennifer Hudson is so. Listen, man. Shoot.
Oh yeah, you're right. He lost to George Clooney.
Shoot, man. The thing about it is like I don't.
And
I
talk
don't.
about
I
why,
think she,
though.
I think
talk
she,
about why, because
Okay. Oh, this is what I wanted to ask you about. So it's so funny that you're here and you picked this movie. So your Decoded episode, was it like maybe 2 episodes ago? You
About
talked
black woman stereotypes. I got a list, Roy.
Okay,
perfect. Because
Yeah, she is like the quintessential sassy black woman.
Okay, thank you. Please. Okay. So this is the thing is I believe Jennifer Hudson is a great. I think she's a great actress, but watching her in this movie, I couldn't remove myself from seeing that stereotype.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because the character she plays in this movie is the same. It's a different version of a character that Octavia Spencer plays in The Help, where they're both sassy, they both take nothing. And it's like, I couldn't break apart. Like, is she doing a good job? Or am I just seeing like a sassy black woman who's like,
who has no depth. Like, it was very like, okay, I wrote down, and she's like big, sassy, she's attitude, she's late all the time, she's like sexually forward. Like, there's this scene where like Dina's like, she's like, come on, like you should be like, she's like throwing herself.
Totally.
Like, she's just, you know what I mean? Like,
it's a musical.
It is a musical, but at the same time, it is very symptomatic of this idea that like the thick black girl has to be loud and like overbearing and like have an attitude.
She didn't want to work
and, like,
with anybody.
Don't take anybody's shit.
Yes, I couldn't break away from
this
that.
is what was hard about this, because I didn't think about that at all until Jerah brought it up. The fact that she's such a stereotypical character. But then my response was, it's a musical, right? Like, it's like they're
because if you think about
Hairspray,
this is something that everyone will see.
Exactly. Like they're doing the way that they're telling the story is they're trying to tell it quick, right? So it's like so it's infused with these. It's infused with these sound bites of a character, right?
Yes.
Rather than
because almost the entire story is told through song. It's not told through dialogue.
But it's hard.
That's not enough, man. Because this movie will be this movie. I'm sorry to cut you off, but this movie right here this is one of the things we talk about. This is the thing that like. This movie was going to get mass release. This is something that blacks, whites, everyone's going to see, and this is the type of like character we keep portraying. And it's like, that's not enough to say it's a musical, man. This is a movie that's being put out, and this is a movie where like this woman could have had death.
Well, and that's the kind of, and I agree with you in the sense that this is not a new character. Like, it'd be one thing if you were like, yeah, it's a musical and it's all black people, and so like this is a chance to see so many different kinds of black people, and instead it's a chance to see like a bunch of no good guys who like cheat on their wives and do drugs and like have babies out of wedlock. Like, I still like the film, I still like the musical, but I do think it would have been a great directorial choice to show why is Jennifer Hudson like the angry, sassy,
and
like
so,
what like, and it could have been in a fucking montage.
That's why. That's why I
been.
struggle so much with the movie, because Bill Condon,
who's the white guy
who did the adaptation, right? Like,
you say what race he was though?
He's a white man.
And there's no problem with being white, but I just think that's
but who did the adaptation? It's like it seems like the choices, and again, I haven't seen the stage one, but it doesn't like
none of us have. Nobody has. It came out in the 80s.
No, people. There's been
a revival.
Someone who went to school with me was in the
one in Westchester
revival.
There was one in Westchester.
There was one. Okay, but anyway, but that being said, They took efforts to like adapt the screenplay, right, and to change things and to do blah blah blah, right? But they had the opportunity to make all these changes that we're talking about, but instead they were like distracted by making more allusions to Motown rather than like fleshing out character.
But they also took out songs and added more dialogue.
Did they?
Yes. It's a musical. It's nonstop
that's
singing.
not an excuse. It's a movie.
Time out.
It's a film.
Here, I do want to talk about this though. Like, how we have to compare this to other.
No, we need to compare
musicals.
this movie. And, like this movie right now, we're talking about a stereotypical black female character, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what we're talking about.
I don't think we have to compare it to other movies. I think that there's just a lot of interesting things just about the way that these characters are presented. Because to me, I did think that it was not strange, but and again, this is the original film, that like all of the guys in the movie are like shitty. Like, and Cece
Right.
is a nice guy, but then the most interesting to me is that like when he was a nice guy, he was completely like non-sexual, and then as soon as they brought in the new girl, then he like sold out his sister and starts hooking up with this girl. So it's kind of like it's like sex makes you bad, and like you don't give a fuck, like you think with your dick. It's like, and suddenly he's like, peace to my sister, and now I got this girl. Like he spends the whole movie kind of being like this like non-sexual, like weak, soft, nice guy, but like without any love interest.
100%.
I totally get where you guys are coming from, but I guess my counter argument to this is that if it wasn't that way, it would be a fake, and it would also be making black people into like more than human beings. Because here's the reason that I think that is because when people are surrounded on that kind of level and that kind of fame and surrounded by money and have, especially in this movie starts out in the 60s and the 70s, like at that time, like when free love was like first a thing, men used it to take advantage of women, and that definitely happened in the black community. It also happened in the white community.
Yeah, but we saw them before they became famous.
Which is why, but that's what I'm saying. It's like Jamie Foxx's character wasn't two-timing before the fame started creeping in.
He kind of was, because at the very beginning, he was about to try and sell them out so that they didn't win. And the guy was like, oh, don't worry, they weren't going to win anyway. So like he was kind of being skeezy.
He was never a good person.
He was always had like ulterior motives, and just even starting up his record label, like he was wheeling and dealing and like doing
well, I guess
things.
the other thing that the movie is kind of trying to say was like the people who win out on top of here usually are not good people because the system is corrupt, and you need to be corrupted to go on top. It was like also, I mean, especially if he's supposed to be a Berry Gordy character. Berry Gordy freaking did cheat on his wives. He did do messed up stuff. So like
he also did a lot of great things as well. Like,
so did Jamie Foxx's character.
What did he do in this movie that was good?
What are you talking about? He did the same thing that Berry Gordy's character did. He created a record. Time out and listen to me for a second.
No, because you keep talking. No, you're not talking with facts.
Because I mean, I am talking with facts.
Do you know anything about Berry Gordy before you go into this conversation?
Absolutely, dude.
Okay, keep going then, because I'm gonna check you on it.
You're talking about Jamie Foxx's character. You're saying, what does he do in this movie? I'm telling you.
What does he do good? I said Berry Gordy.
And I'm about to explaining.
Okay.
Just like Berry Gordy created Motown Records, which is the biggest independent record label of all time. That's exactly what happened in this movie with Jamie Foxx's character. Rainbow Records was the biggest record label of all time. Okay. All of the people that he had on his record label were black. He gave black people, an opportunity to be independent artists, make a lot of money, and do more things for their community and all of that stuff.
Wait, did we see that in this movie?
Movie, you see it in the background. It's not the main focus story of the character, but it's in the background. That's not what they chose to focus on, though.
That's the point. What I'm saying is this movie focused on the negative aspects of this
What
character.
I'm saying, though, is that's film. Film doesn't focus. Film doesn't make. You don't make a film about
characters, bro. They made this dude evil from the beginning to the end of the movie. They didn't choose to. They could have focused. I'm not saying they needed a whole scene of him saving a building of dying kids, but they could have took a moment to give him some type of they could have given him a moment.
The first record that he produced was Martin Luther King's record, which is what Motown did.
Yeah, they do have like that little moment in there, but it's kind of like a throwaway. Like they don't really say, like you see it getting pressed and you hear MLK, and then like it turns into a joke about Effie's character having an attitude,
and being sassy,
and
that's
like,
oh, you thought I was doing this thing,
and I got tricked by it because like I forgot that moment, and when I saw it, I was like, they're really making her into a bitch.
I was mad too. I was like, okay, I can't believe this is happening.
I know. I wrote it down and I crossed it out. I was like, I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Are we like being triggered? Are we like looking? Because like to me, the reason that you're missing some of these moments is because in your mind, you already knew that you were upset about this movie, and you're looking at those.
No,
and
what I'm saying is that moment wasn't touched on. That moment wasn't about that. Like Francesca said, that moment wasn't about him doing something good and like having Martin Luther King's album. It was like showing that Effie had an attitude, and that Effie came in here and Effie
totally
had nothing to do with him.
The MLK part,
like or it was supposed to be, and this is the other side of it. It was like supposed to be like a loving moment between the two of them.
I think it was.
That like doesn't come across that way because and I think it's because we're looking at the movie through the context of these lenses that we're talking about. So it's like, I don't know, like if it were written or shown in a better way, then we would have different reactions to
I
it.
mean, I think it could have even been as simple as she comes in and she says something about, MLK, da 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 da. And Jamie Foxx's character could have been like, yeah, this is a big deal. We are producing this like monumental speech. Like, he didn't say anything. He just kind of like looks at her, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Like,
it was
I was
super
tense.
weird.
I was like, I don't like it when mommy and daddy fight. Like,
It was like this movie. The thing is, like, in this room right now, like, there's 5 people, 1 white, 4 black. If all 4 of us got super rich, I'm pretty sure we all would act differently. We all, I don't know.
power dynamic.
like-
All the black people have a voice
You
on
know
this
what I'm saying?
podcast.
It would be different. But it's like this movie didn't show, like, when it came to the men, these men were all evil almost. It was like Eddie Murphy's character, like, they didn't even attempt to make them have a home life that was like not tainted or like even show a dimension in it.
But I think so. Here's the reason that I disagree is because you're saying Berry Gordy did a lot of great things for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, which he did, and he was evil too. I'm not kidding.
But what I'm saying
So straight up
is,
said Berry Gordy was
if you
evil.
told Berry Gordy's story only through the lens of Diana Ross, or like only through the lens of like his first wife, you know what I mean? They might tell a story that makes Berry Gordy look like
it's
an
still
evil
fiction,
person.
though. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
thing,
that's
though.
right.
It's like,
No. I know it's fiction, but what I'm saying is like I think the reason that it makes it seem like all these men were evil is because the story was pretty much told through the lens
But then why
of
they
these women.
why'd they like him in the first place? then?
Here's another
because
side.
he was helping them get what they wanted.
I know what I'm
because
simply saying.
sometimes ladies like bad
But I'm,
guys.
What I'm, no, that's true. But
I was thinking
though.
when she was singing, and I'm telling you, like, I was annoyed. Like, I wrote down, I was like, "You, like, he's
Yes,
an
please.
asshole to you." I was
So-
like, "You're
yes,
the
so-
best man I've ever known." I was
so-
like, "What the fuck, Chris? Chris, he just like
True.
shit. Like, he was
Yes.
not a nice guy."
So
Well, she
that
was
was the
being-
part that I also struggled with. Like,
man.
I
Man.
thought that
Let's just. I'm
No,
very
we
conscious
got-
of the fact that we haven't like talked about the story at all.
Okay,
Just to set the story, it's like these 3 girls. They get to like a competition. They were supposed to go second. They missed their shot because they were late because of Beyonce's character. They're like, we'll let you go last. Jamie Foxx's character basically like talks this guy into making them go last. They lose, and because they lose, Jamie Foxx is like, look, I can get you backup singers because he overheard that conversation. So they become backup singers to Eddie Murphy's character. Then they start doing stuff. It starts hitting. Eddie Murphy's character is going up. Jamie Foxx takes over.
Jamie Foxx realizes that like Dina can be more palatable to white people
Right.
because the
white guy looked at
Eddie
her.
Murphy's character is like kind of like making the white people in the audience like
Nervous,
"Ooh, like, this is
but
all
they're
too
looking
black."
at her. They're looking at Beyonce's character like, we like her though.
Yeah.
And so basically, that's what happens, and we get to this point.
Yes, and so we get to this point, and Jennifer Hudson Effie is like upset that Dina is like now in the forefront.
Yeah.
And here's
And
the
Dina's
thing.
in the forefront because she's light skinned and prettier and thinner,
Not because she can
versus
sing better.
the dark skinned, thicker Effie.
Right.
Yep.
And so here's the thing about that. When she comes out and like goes on a tirade right before like my 2 favorite songs in the movie, and she's talking about how like her dream was taken away from her, and like how we know you're sleeping with Curtis and blah blah and all this stuff.
Was that
I
even
didn't
a
know.
thing? Was that
I
a
know.
thing at that point?
I couldn't tell if it was real or
there
not.
were a few moments where he was like looking at her. Like,
There
he
was
saw her,
the
like,
one moment that he looked at her and he was like, but at that point I was like, was he actually
Yeah,
sleeping
I
with
didn't
her
know.
or
That's
not?
it. That's
because
it.
Beyonce's character didn't confirm or deny it, and he didn't confirm or deny it.
And that is a part of why I struggled so much with just the way the movie is, the storytelling of the movie. Like I didn't feel like she was wronged in any way because I didn't see her wronged in any way. I didn't see.
It seemed like she was being,
and I also didn't see like. I could tell that was like, I know that's her dream because obviously I saw her singing lead earlier in the movie, but like I don't see someone stealing someone's dream.
They didn't layer her at all.
Right? Like I don't actually like, and because the way the movie is told, it's like when someone promises something, typically we saw that thing come to fruition. Like you're not going to be in the background this whole time, like they were saying that, and then it's like, oh, now they're not. Now they're going to be solo. Oh, but a different person's going to be solo. But we're going to write all these songs for you. Like I had no reason to believe that wasn't going to be what was going to happen. So when she's upset in that song, I'm like, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why she's feeling this, because all we have so far is a series of promises, and then those promises being answered. Like those promises being kept.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's one of those places where, for me, I was able to understand the character, and maybe that's just because I'm a woman, but I saw it as like, oh, well, we know why Dina's getting put in the front.
Yeah.
She's like the pretty thin girl, like, and then Effie is like the plus size girl, and that's
and it's
why.
like,
that's what they connected on in the beginning of the movie. Remember, like, she was saying, like, hey, she asked Jamie Foxx's character, like, hey, do you like girls like
she's
Dina?
prettier than me,
or do you like a real girl like me?
Yeah, but
and she's like, look, he's like, my sister, I grew up with blah 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 sisters, and they were all real girls, and looked at her. And so she's like, okay, good. And I think that was what we're supposed to connect to in this moment.
Right.
Of like,
I mean, and I know, it
wasn't earned.
Know that. I know on an intellectual level that that's what I'm supposed to be experiencing right now. But I think that there is, I just feel like it's like you have these set pieces. If I were writing this, right, you have these set pieces like, oh, I know that at this moment we're supposed to be like so on her side, and she's supposed to feel like she is being completely ostracized and completely left out right now. So it's like, great, I know that this book only has like these 7 lines. I'm gonna keep these 7 lines, but you know what I'm gonna also add? I'm gonna add this scene where like people are like fawning over Dina,
or maybe like her dress doesn't fit or something.
And
she has like a moment of like, oh shit, like,
oh, that'd have been nice.
Like I feel like fat and gross or something.
Wait, just who?
Like
Dina or Jennifer?
if Effie had a scene where you saw her like have a moment where maybe she didn't feel good about her body or something, so that you could see like a little competition, so that maybe montage.
Right, and then
we've already told the masses don't like the montages.
I mean, if it helps the story.
Wait, time out. That would make the story 2 hours and 30-something minutes
Drop
long.
a montage.
I'm just
Thank
saying,
you.
I'm
You
just
had
saying,
3 in the first 40
that's your
minutes.
Act 1
Make it
closer.
worthwhile.
That is your Act 1 closer. You want everyone crying
There
in
you
the
go,
audience.
James. Write this movie,
Wait,
James.
time out.
You want everyone crying.
I mean, you
in
can
the
say that. You can all say that. She won an Academy Award because people clearly were crying in the audience.
No, and again,
everything, though.
I'm just saying there were people affected by the mission.
And like I said, those 10 minutes were that like from It's All Over, and I'm telling you, my favorite part of the movie. It's my favorite part of the movie.
I think Jennifer Hudson won the Oscar because she's a great singer. Like, and I look at Beyonce's a great example.
Well, yes, that's very true.
When Beyonce's singing "Listen," she's acting her ass off because she can sing and she knows how to like emote when she's singing. And I think that for a singer, that's very. It's not that it's a crutch, but when they don't have the ability to like modulate and like take all these breaths and like do all these dramatic things, and they're just working with lines, like you have to fucking act and like fill that in. And I don't think that Jennifer Hudson really did that. Like I saw her like angry and like shouting a bunch, but I didn't see like why she was angry. I didn't see like the jealousy of Dina. Like I saw her being like, why is she being in the front? I'm better than her. I didn't see this moment of like, oh shit, I know why he's picking her. Like this moment of like,
realization. What's going on?
I should have known this was going to happen. I'm the best one, but the pretty girl, like I didn't see that. I just saw her being like, what the fuck? I'm the best. And then she was like,
wait,
don't
but why
leave
did
me.
She was literally a stereotype in this movie. Like. There was no point where you saw her really get hurt, because the thing is, they made her so sassy, so aggressively
and that could have been
angry.
her though. Like I think that those were some of her choices, and also
like,
directing.
This is the thing though. I hate like some people are sassy. What's wrong with having a sassy character?
I think there's
more
nothing
than that.
Yeah, I think it's not.
I know that there's more than that, but what I'm saying is that there are some people who are like that, and. Anytime, so are we saying that anytime that's depicted on screen,
we want to see like
it is a stereotype?
No, what I'm saying is you want to see more than. I don't want to see her just
because
be
not
sassy.
there were a lot of black women in this movie, and there was only one that was sassy.
We're talking about Jennifer Hudson in particular, and Jennifer Hudson in this movie is a sassy black woman, and the stereotype.
There's really only 2 other black women in the movie, and they're
Very
just kind of like I mean,
Well, there's-
the other girl's just like Anika Noni Rose is
she's
just
there.
like kind of like a pushover. She's kind of like a
She's
got
sleeping.
no
She's sleeping
love.
with someone's husband.
yeah. She's like a
She
side.
got
She's a
no
side.
She's a side piece.
She's a
She's a
side
side
chick.
chick.
And like Dina is kind of just like a blank vessel. She's just kind of like, mold me. I'll do whatever you want.
Right.
I don't think. For me, the problem is not like sassy characters because yes, some people are sassy. The problem is like when all we get are sassy characters and we don't see like any nuance to them, then like in my real life, people are like, hi girl, you're getting angry. And I'm like, I'm not getting angry at all. I'm actually just like, I just want to know if you guys have soy milk. And they're like, whoa, girl, calm it down. I'm like, well, did you watch fucking Dreamgirls yesterday? Like, what's going on? You know, like I don't know. I think it could have been a combination of better acting and better directing. Like, I don't even think it needed extra lines. Like, it just could have been like the beat of the realization, like, oh shit, I see what's going on before she like jumped to anger. I just felt like she went straight to anger every single
Can I
time.
pose a question to the room?
Oh yes, please.
Sorry, no, you want to go first before I pose a question?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just the way that would play out if it was on stage, right? And this is a movie musical thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's all over. It's like this quick paced song where like boom, boom, you're out of the group. I can't be out of the group. Effie, it's your fault. Blah, blah, blah. This is how it feels.
Because that's
on
what
stage,
it is. That's
right?
how it's supposed to feel
And-
to her. It's like everybody's ganging up on her, which is why she's like attacking and being like, no.
Right, and then that song ends, and she's like, and it's like, it's a show-stopping number that like you as an audience member watching this live on stage, you feel like you've been kicked in the stomach. Right. But it does not translate if you have not built to that well in the movie.
Right. I guess
Yeah.
the reason it did feel that way for me is because she was like even though you were saying I don't understand her dream, I was like I definitely do, because she was the only person in the group. In the beginning, she didn't even want to be the backup singer because she was like, no, I'm not going to be the backup singer. I'm a great singer. I don't sing backup,
But to me, to me, that was another part of stereotype. It was like black women are hard to work with, because if you're a person going to come up, you are willing to do. If you are willing to do stuff, I don't know, bro. I see it differently. Sorry, go ahead.
The reason what I'm saying is that, again, she was the one out of the 3 black women in the group who felt that way. There are people, especially in this industry. I mean, are you kidding me? Dude, in the music industry, like, come on, people are cocky as hell.
But for me,
your
like,
first people make freaking careers out of being cocky. Kanye West made a song called "I Am God." Like, the dude
Later in life, Kanye. First off, Kanye earned where he got.
Kanye was always cocky. Dave Chappelle,
he
was
Dave
cocky, but
Chappelle tell
Kanye
you
put
that.
in work. Kanye West wanted to rap, couldn't rap, and then he's like, you know what, I'm going to bide my time.
But I
This
think-
woman didn't want to
Time
do
out.
backup.
She didn't want it. Yes, she wanted to. When
She
Kanye,
automatically
was
wanted to be
Kanye
a star.
was Kanye in a rap group before he became a?
No, but he.
Okay, so what are you
took a
talking
step-
about,
he
bro?
took a- Can I finish? Like, you wanted to finish? First off, you want to bring up Kanye West right now. Kanye West did put in work. Kanye West did work at
I
record
never
studio.
said he didn't put in work.
What I'm simply saying is that Kanye West realized that he couldn't just come out and be a world-renowned rapper automatically. He was willing to put in work to do this. And sometimes if you're a singer, you have to sing backup. This woman did not want to do that, and that makes her dream shine higher than anyone else's.
I don't think Kanye's the hill you
dude.
want to die on. I just like.
No, I was trying to address. He brought up like Kanye. No, man, that's
I
not
brought up
real.
Kanye because I'm talking about personality. Like, it's not a stereotype to show a singer who has a great, amazing voice not want to do backup. People get lost in backup.
Immediately?
Yeah, I think
yes,
so.
Jerah, yes.
Her, because her voice was really good, and like you don't put a really good voice.
No,
as backup.
you
Like,
don't. The work that you put in is as a.
Yeah, no,
as
her
a,
being in,
Have you guys
I
seen-
will say, every time she sang, it was like, man, her being in the background is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
There's a documentary.
Yeah, I'm about to say because
about it.
clearly we're not
that
fact checking.
that documentary is amazing, and it talks about these women who have amazing voices who never got to have a career because they sang backup the entire time.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I'm saying is, like, people do sing back. To me, saying
I
someone
know they
believes their
do.
dream is really tough because they won't sing backup doesn't define them having a stronger dream than the other two.
It shows that she knew her self-worth, is what I'm saying. It showed that she knew this is what I don't want to
Yes.
settle for being a
Yes.
backup singer.
And again,
The other
all
two
I'm
were
saying
like,
is I
I'm
didn't-
cool with it because
I didn't feel it at that moment.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
all. That was all I was trying to.
and she kept checking in with Jamie Foxx's character. She was like, hey, when are we gonna? You said, and so when
And
they
then she, like,
finally
they
get
brought
their
her a
shot,
song.
they're like, great, you're gonna be your own group, and she's like, boom, finally made it. And by the way, you're singing backup, and she was like, what? Are you kidding me? You promised me. And she gets so mad, and then all of a sudden, everybody's ganging up on her. Her two friends, her best friends for life, who she was doing this with. This guy who she has a relationship with.
Beyonce wasn't
her
on her.
own brother, and they all gang up on her.
They don't gang up on her. They go, we are family.
I'm about to say, yeah, they don't.
First they're like,
they're all like trying to like, no one wants to do
They
it.
hug her. They're like, it's okay. We can do this together.
And she goes, and she's like, okay. And then she realizes, no, this isn't what I want. And then so she protests, and when she protests, then they all gang up on her. They're like, you're so difficult to work with.
That was a weird thing to me, too, because they did do the whole, like, you're super difficult, but I didn't see her... she really
one time they showed it in the studio.
Only one time.
In the studio, and then on, like, weren't they singing?
Rehearsal. Yeah, she missed the rehearsal.
She missed the rehearsal, and then... But the other thing was that she was pregnant, and Jamie Foxx was like, you're getting fat.
Right.
Which was so messed up.
Yeah, so that was kind of the only time that they really
So they were like, yo, like, you're being difficult. And she's like, screw you. I'm the best singer here. And so they all, and I think the reason that it went right from screw you all to I can't live my life without you was because she realized she was about to lose her entire life. And it's like that moment where you're like, I don't know. I've been in a relationship, I get into a fight. You know what I mean? And I can be so angry in that fight, but literally the moment we separate and the moment I realize, am I about to lose this person that I just got into I don't want that to happen. And then I go back and I'm like, you know what? I still believe the things that I was fighting about, but I don't want to lose you. So like emotionally, it does make sense to me. Like people go through that journey.
Yeah. No,
I've done it.
What you're explaining does, but that's not what happened.
What I'm saying is like I saw
that's
that.
what you saw.
I interpreted what they were doing in the anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think what I was just missing were like those little connective threads, like the little moments that you kind of like turn to go into the next thing. I just didn't really see her do that, and I think it does speak to the fact that this is a movie musical and came from the stage, because on stage it would work because you're in a huge room and you need to like just.
And the audience is more forgiving.
And like,
move to the next thing.
Like the second you hear, I mean, and again, I don't want to say that we shouldn't make musicals into movies.
That's what you're saying.
But again, I know it's what
you started.
That's what you're saying.
I know.
That's what you're saying.
I know. But it's like you would take a line like Effie's saying, "Just once, I'm feeling sick." You're like, you're on the bated breath.
She throws it away.
She's feeling sick. You would hear that and be like, "Oh fuck, what does that mean?" You know, like immediately. You know, she says it 2 or 3 times. I'm feeling sick, but that's it.
And she does it away. She goes she like turns her body. She doesn't even say it towards the camera, and she just goes, "I'm feeling sick." She doesn't go. She doesn't have a moment of like, "Oh my god, I feel sick." She just goes, "I'm feeling sick."
No one takes it in. Yeah, no one takes it in. It's just like
Effie's late. Effie's late. That would be a huge. That would tell volumes.
Which
on stage.
I think. It's yeah. I mean, to me, it was like the reason they didn't realize because they were all caught up in their own freaking thing. You know what I mean? It was like the fame and all of this was swirling around them. They weren't thinking about her at all.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why she was like, "What about me?" Which when she first was singing, I was like, "That's pretty selfish of you to say what about me?" And they're singing like, "We're a family," but really, they're not. They only are singing "We're a family" because they care about what they want,
right?
And they will only get what they want if she goes along with that.
Yeah. The thing about the end goal. I mean, the thing about this movie is this is tough. Because watching this movie, I was like, if a black person directed this movie, would I like it more? And I think, yeah. Because I think literally these characters, I think African American would have saw these characters and realized it was missing something.
Well, it's also funny to me because they have these themes about how they need to like be more palatable for white audiences, and I'm like this movie.
Exactly, this movie wasn't made for us. Yes, this movie was not made for us.
I felt like it was like kind of got. I feel like they kind of like watered down the movie to make it like really sellable, the same way that they watered down like
Yo, there's sometimes so many movies where I'm watching it and I'm like, yo, this movie isn't supposed to speak to me at all. This movie has brown people in it, which is supposed to sell to me, but this movie isn't made for me. This movie is made for white people to see black people and accept them. Like, these characters, I think my biggest problem with the movie portraying the African-American men and then even Jennifer Hudson is that even though this is just a musical, I get that. But this was an Oscar movie that was made to be an Oscar baiting movie. So this movie was going to be seen by tons of white people. And in this movie, the black characters we see are stereotypes that we've seen all like years past, and we haven't.
And that's what wins Oscars.
And it sucks. And it sucks, man. And the thing is, not only did Jennifer Hudson win for this, and I keep bringing up The Help because The Help reminds me of this movie so much, where it's like that character Octavia Spencer played, which Octavia Spencer is great. That character is nothing but a sassy black woman in a maid costume. And it's like, why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep accepting this stuff?
Well,
it's like we keep, no, man, no. The thing is, this could have been better. We could have done better. Someone could have. And the thing is, all we do is like give these movies awards and say, oh, you did a great job playing this person. You did a great job. And you know what's going to happen the next time? The next time a black person will get nominated for an Oscar is going to be playing some other stereotype that we just let go. That we just like, oh, this is decent. Someone got a role. No, man, we got to be better than this shit. I'm tired of this, man.
But I also think like this is the kind of a conversation that happened during Oscars So White, and I definitely agreed that we needed more diversity. I think we also kind of have to acknowledge that like awards don't mean that your film was the best.
Also, there's a certain type of Oscar film.
Yeah, like exactly that. Like an Oscar is awesome. Like that's a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
It also kills a lot of black people's careers. Like some,
It does.
You know what I mean? Like
It
there are
kills black
some
people's careers.
It kills some like black men. It doesn't kill their careers. Some black women. It kills their like
Most
Octavia.
of them.
Octavia Spencer
Well,
has
there's
not
only 3, 4.
right.
Lupita hasn't. I mean,
Well, and Lupita is.
Oh, no,
I think
Lupita's
Lupita's
about
been
to-
smart and
She's
strategic
bound to
because
have
she
movies.
was like, "Fuck y'all, I'm gonna go to theater. Like, I'm gonna do a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna
Right.
produce. I'm
And
gonna
voice in Star Wars.
and right. Like she kind of. I think she's been very smart.
Jungle Book.
But I just mean in the sense that like a lot of times people win Oscars and they aren't the best. And so if our goal is to win Oscars, then like, yeah, you were going to have to do Oscar bait. You were going to have to do like, you know, struggle films and sassy, but like that's what the Oscars, that's the way they see us and that's what they want to see. So I think it's up to us to create our own shit and say like, I'm going to make a good fucking movie. And if the Oscars doesn't recognize it, fuck them. I'm going to make something that's good and different. And then when it commercially is successful, then people will go, oh shit, like this, you know, then this can work. And I look at someone like Shonda Rhimes who isn't perfect, but she has someone who has made stuff that has not always gotten a lot of awards, but she puts black women in her shit. And now guess what? I got more calls for pilot season than I ever got before because suddenly a black woman on a television show can work. So I think it's kind of, you know, up to us to create that shit to show that we can do more than be sassy and, you know, stereotypical and all that other shit.
Preach.
this movie, think about this movie just making me sad. Actually, man, I have so much energy coming in.
I know.
It's just like I'm like it's just like this movie. Is
But
like,
I just like I think about Chicago, which was won Best Picture like 2 years before this.
Yeah.
And that's the same director.
Same
right?
director, yeah.
And Chicago, like, you know, the women in Chicago are not good people. They're all in prison. The movie's about women in prison who are like murderers, and they've gotten wronged and stuff like that. But it's just like,
but there's a difference when you see white women in all types of fucking things and all different types of ways.
Which is what,
and that like, you know, I always use the example of like fucking oh god, what's that like little girl on TLC, like the little fat girl on
Honey Boo Boo.
Honey Boo Boo. No one sees Honey Boo Boo and goes like, look at fucking white people being white.
Right.
Like
no one.
they just go like those Honey Boo Boo's the worst, and like that's that family.
it's
like
a representation problem.
Yeah, it's a representation problem.
People being white.
White's gonna white. Like then, like no one says that. They just say like,
which
oh,
is why
that sucks.
I don't. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't criticize this film for the representation problem that exists in Hollywood, because it's a musical film with an all black cast that you rarely ever get to see. The last time you saw it was The Wiz, which did not do as well as this movie did. And then the other, and like
I
The
can
Wiz
tell
was
you
in
why
the
I
80s.
didn't do that well.
The Wiz was in the 80s. You know what I mean? And like, so you have
A black man put that movie together.
Yeah, see, I think that's the nuance that we miss. I feel like if it did have a black director, I feel like then there would have just been a little bit more. Like, yeah, these are the characters, but I just think that they missed a little. They could have just been fleshed out.
Oh, you're saying The Wiz is new?
I mean,
No, I mean not the Wiz. I mean
this, like-
Dreamgirls could have had like a little.
Oh
bit
yeah,
more.
I mean, I
Wiz is
agree.
nuanced.
If there was a black director for Dreamgirls, they probably would have honed in a little bit more on like the racial issues and stuff. And
maybe they would have fucking moisturized Jennifer Hudson's hair when she was natural. Like, what the fuck? Why is it that she has wigs on the whole goddamn movie? Then suddenly she's natural when she's like all cracked out, like looking for a job. I'm like, girl, get some coconut oil. Like, what are you
doing? Like, that made me so mad.
She was super crusty.
I was working concessions at a theater a few years back, and there was a play on Broadway. It was an August Wilson play, but it was directed by a white guy, and I didn't get a chance to see it, but there was a customer there who was like, "Oh, I saw this play. Like, did you see it?" And he asked me what I thought about it, but I didn't see it. So I asked him what he thought about it, and he said it lacked. It felt like it lacked depth.
Wait, this play?
Yeah, this play. It was a production of a play by August. It was a play by August Wilson. But he said it looked like it was very pretty. Like, now this person stands here and they do a monologue, and now this person stands here and they do a monologue. And I feel like that is exactly what you're talking about with the way this movie was directed. Like, it looks very nice.
I'll give you that.
But it's like it lacks like
does lack the depth.
The depth, or like the grit,
like,
or like
the love relate. It's true. Like both. I felt it even more. Like the Jennifer Hudson and Jamie Foxx relationship, I bought into a little bit more.
But we didn't really see them.
Even though we didn't really see them.
He kissed her like once.
Even though we didn't really see them. But what I didn't buy into at all was that Dina would fall in love with Jamie Foxx's character. I was like, I was like so confused. And like at the end when he was like, "You can't leave," like, "I love you," and I was like, huh?
Yeah, where'd that come
I was
from?
like, everybody knows that's not true, right? Including Beyonce, right? Like, I don't like it. I couldn't tell if the movie wanted me to think about their relationship. And it's funny, you texted about Jamie Foxx like looking at his child, but like,
that was weird.
I hated that.
And like,
scene.
I realized I was like, oh, this wasn't Jamie Foxx's fault. This was definitely the directing, because you don't even know as a audience viewer if you're supposed to think that Jamie Foxx recognizes that that's his kid or not.
How would he know? She's sitting there by, and first of all, she was by herself.
She's sitting by
And she's
herself, like
10.
crying.
And who was with her?
Wait. Can I just say though, that little girl was
acting her
amazing.
ass off.
She was. Her eyes were red when she was crying in that scene.
She should have played Dina.
She had
was killing
zero lines, and I was like, who is this little girl? She needs to be the star of a movie.
Yeah, she was really
She was
good.
like, she had the most believable tears throughout the entire film.
Oh, those are real
She
tears,
really
bro.
I was like, she's really. I was like, I don't even know why she's crying. I'm feeling emotional.
Like,
I was like, I don't know why you're crying. Why?
did
she was so
even know
proud
she
of her
was-
mom.
She was
'cause
proud of her
proud
mom?
of her mom. I
Oh
think.
man, she had a real deep
But that
cry.
was one of the most moving parts of the like one of the most moving parts of the movie is when they're like, "There's not 3 dreams, there are 4."
She's
like,
And then Effie walks out, and then they cut to the daughter in the audience, and she's like,
The daughter's just
feeling it.
like,
I'm
emotional.
Oh my god! Like my whole body was like, I feel something.
But my thing is like, yeah, but Jamie's thing wasn't earned. How? What? I guess my question is, even what were we supposed to think when he realized that was his kid? We supposed to like feel?
don't even know.
I don't
supposed
know.
to be
It was
angry at
it was
him.
a
Like,
weird
I honestly
throwaway
couldn't
moment.
even understand if he was realizing it. He kept looking at her and the kid, and I was like, does he know?
I feel
that
like
that's
there's
his
like a
kid?
cut scene where he's like, "Where's your ticket?"
Yeah, right.
He's like, "What are you doing here?"
And no, yeah,
They just added that
it registered
scene at the end of the
nothing.
Like, yeah, I was like,
They were
am I
like,
supposed to?
It's
was
really
a-
mean.
And it was a weird way because the movie literally ends like 10 seconds after that. moment.
Yeah, we
Does he
don't
hug
know
her?
why.
Does he hug her? Does he like?
And I was
Yeah.
like, you did it. He shouldn't have done. He should have just stayed up there, and you just watched the end of the Dreamgirls coming back together, and he's just like, I lost them all. Like, just let that moment happen.
No, but then he had the moment of I lost a life.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what's so funny? I read about Dina.
You took it deep.
That's what that moment's supposed to be, though, right?
She's
I don't know. Beyonce Knowles' character Dina is supposed to be Diana Ross.
Yeah.
But I was reading an interview with I forgot somebody else who was on the Supremes. I forgot if her name was like Mariana.
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 It's Mariana, right?
Oh,
No.
I thought it was just Mary.
Oh, is it just Mariana?
But maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
But anyway.
Anyways,
you
but
were-
she was saying they were asking her. They were like, "Oh, like, do you like this movie?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "I wish they used my book," because she like wrote
Yeah,
a book.
she
or whatever.
wrote a book.
And then they were like, "What do you think about Dina? Is Dina a lot like Diana Ross?" And she was like, "No, not at all." And she was like, "Oh, really? Like, you mean like Diana Ross was a lot meaner?" And she's like, "You said it."
It's Mary. It's Mary.
So when I read that, and because you guys are talking about sassy black women, I was like, did they make her character less sassy so they didn't have two sassy black women.
See, I think. Let me clarify what I mean by sassy, because I feel like someone like if they wanted Dina to be like Diana Ross, I think if Diana Ross in real life was almost kind of cutthroat and like wanted to go, to me that doesn't mean sassy. To me, like, you can have that kind of person who like wants to get ahead, who can like have a focus and be like pinpoint and like push everybody over. That doesn't make her sassy. You still could have had, Jennifer Hudson's character be whatever, but there was room for all kinds of black people in this movie. Like,
but I think that
all
they
types.
couldn't have Dina's character be that, because you needed to see her start off as like really young and like insecure and meek and just kind of like, okay, I'm the star, okay, and then kind of like transform into this
Like,
star.
I am the star.
Like, I am the star, but also like not really in control of her career, and then have this moment of like, no, you need to listen to me, like I can sing and like I want to have control, and then like leave.
And then leave.
So I understand why they didn't give her more. I just thought, I don't know.
It's hard. I
kind of would have liked if she would have failed a little bit. Like if, say Dina at one point started really feeling herself and became like, I don't want to say diva, but she became like that type of person, and then she had a realization.
Was supposed to.
I think she was.
Yeah,
She
like,
kind
I
of
think it's
did a
supposed to
little bit.
seem like that's what's
But
happening.
it didn't translate, and I didn't know if that was a failure in the original musical, a failure in this production, the direction, or Beyonce. I couldn't tell.
It's a lot.
I was like,
yeah.
I don't know, because honestly, this is the last thing I'll say about it. Is like, the thing that I didn't like about this movie was Dina's character.
I hated the fucking arm movements.
Oh, those precise.
That was kind of funny.
No, it was always like this weird, like flowy.
I know.
Thing
Oh,
they
but
took-
it's like
they took
totally
that- they
did
took-
that in Motown.
They took that from the Supremes.
Yeah,
I know, but it was
It's
just
crazy.
like it was too much. Like, I don't know. It was
Too much arm. Too much
was
arm.
like,
Just why
Too
did
much
they
arm.
do that?
It made me think about like how, like, especially that I love the beginning of this movie, because when they first came out and like all those acts were coming out, and I was like, this is what it was like. Like,
Yeah.
they had like people who was just like, it was like, and you're up next, and like they start singing before they even get on stage, and then it's just like boo ba ba, and the crowd's going wild, and it's like da-da-da-da, and you're done, get out, ba 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 ba, next person, and they're like woo, and there were just all these people competing to be music stars, and it was like there was so much desperation in the air, but like also so much raw talent. Like,
Yeah.
it was a very fun way to kick off. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Dina's character, I was just like, I didn't understand why so many different like celebrities were up for this role at first. I was like, why would Whitney? I guess Whitney.
Because I
didn't
think
want-
it's
but I
supposed
was like,
to
It's supposed-
be
yeah.
the beautiful,
I couldn't understand
like
why.
glam. Like, she had all the best hair, the best costumes. She became like, the flashing lights, the big pictures of her. Like, she's kind of like the second star of the movie.
Totally,
You
but it
know?
didn't. But it I guess because it didn't resonate with me.
No,
like
I
her
agree.
story.
Yeah, it didn't at all.
And I was like, did it in the first Dreamgirls, or is that
I don't
just
know.
the
I don't know
musical?
who played that part in the stage play. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Anyway, it's time for the swirl.
So I don't know if you know about the swirl, but I like to believe in a world where black, white, brown, yellow, all can intermix in one little pie, and it's just not a thing,
Okay.
I'm very interested in Francesca's response to this segment.
So, actually, you know what? You're right. So let me say this. So all the time we watch these movies, black men, when I find the movies, sometimes aren't sexualized. If there's a white female lead in it, there's sometimes like the best friend, coworker. Like they make sure it's a reason why they're not a love interest, unless it's about their skin color. Mm-hmm. So I like to make sure the black man becomes more than just like some dude in the screen. I want people to see that he can be a love interest for anybody. So in this movie, this world belongs to Eddie Murphy, because I don't like Jamie Foxx's character or Jamie Foxx in this movie.
There's no white women in this movie.
Oh, there's one.
There are white women in this.
There's
Wait,
one.
there was? Oh.
you brought
Oh
it
my
up.
God, that's right, the
You brought
beach-
up the scene.
the
You brought up the
beach,
scene.
I don't even
You
think
brought up
that's
the
the
scene.
one.
In the
Oh,
when
you're
they're
right.
singing.
Remember when
Yeah,
they
when they're
singing the
singing.
fake?
Oh, and
So-
the lady who gets them leaving.
Oh, this is it. So my
Oh
man.
my God.
So my man is in here singing, and all of a sudden, he's trying to sing super white, super calm, but then the funk and the love just fills his heart up, and he just screams. He sees the white woman he loves. I want you. That's what he says to her. He says it repeatedly. I want you. She's freaked out. She's like, you know what? This black man saying he want me. We gotta leave. All of a sudden, she gets up. She walks out. All right.
She meets him.
Oh, you feeling what I'm feeling. All of a sudden,
okay.
Jimmy's in the back, like, you know what? I need to get some fresh air right now. That show didn't go off well. She comes back, she's like, no one's ever said they wanted me like that. And she's like, I don't know how to take this. And he's like, Jimmy can show you.
Oh God!
And then oh no, it's not done yet.
Third person.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know Jimmy goes. You know Jimmy said Jimmy want more.
Jimmy want more.
Jimmy want more. Jimmy want more. So the thing is like she's like, I mean,
Jimmy just goes.
I was here with somebody, but I just left him because I just felt you had this thing. And he's like, Jimmy got sold. And then she's like, you know what? Would you like to come upstairs?
Oh my God.
Because she lives there. They're like at the Hamptons or something like that, right? She lives there. She takes him upstairs.
They're in Miami.
Oh, I in Miami?
Yeah, they're definitely in Miami.
All right, wherever
Go
they
to the
at.
Hamptons.
Wherever.
In Miami, they go to the
That's even better. She takes him to the
She's
beach.
a place and a half.
Yeah. She takes him to the beach house, right? All of a sudden, they get it on, right? They get it on. Classy style. Marvin Gaye's playing in the background. And then once he's done,
Why isn't Jimmy playing in that?
because Jimmy don't want to have sex with his own music. That's weird. Jimmy cares about it.
I don't know.
I'm giving Jimmy the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
What Jimmy's gonna do is Jimmy says.
Talks to the third person. He's definitely having sex to his own music.
Hold on, let me finish. Jimmy's done, all right? And Jimmy's like, listen, don't worry, there's gonna be an encore because Jimmy want more, and then she will be like. Janice want more too.
Okay.
Oh her name is Janice.
Her name is Janice. She looks like a
Janice want. I
She
might
look like a Janice.
Janice want Mo too.
No.
And then,
So that's my swerve.
wait, hold up. And then Jimmy says, step into the bad side.
That's not his song, but I get why you did it though.
He sings step into the bad
Is that his?
he does.
Is that his in the beginning?
Yeah, it's
Not in the
awesome.
beginning of it. Then at the beginning of the song is like Jamie Foxx talking about something.
Oh,
and
gotcha,
then he's
gotcha,
like,
gotcha.
I'm gonna step into the bad
Oh,
side.
gotcha. Okay. Just so you
Before
guys
we
know, you
move
guys were
on-
part of that swirl.
Okay.
That was a three-way swirl.
Before we move on, the movie Double Platinum,
What is double platinum?
starring Diana Ross and Brandy.
What?
The movie Double Platinum.
I
So
have
like
not seen that.
There's
I
a
haven't
movie
seen
that
that.
stars Diana Ross and
Diana
Brandy?
Ross and Brandy. It was a made-for-TV movie,
Yeah,
but
I was
it's
gonna
apropos.
say. I was gonna say it was.
It's apropos to this situation.
Stop this.
Okay, fine. We don't want to talk about that.
What?
I have 3 movies.
No.
No, do them all. I want to hear them all. Do them all.
No.
Do them.
Okay, wait. The movie Carmen, a hip opera.
Oh my God! There was an allusion to Carmen because when she was doing all of the makeover
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
And
then
Cleopatra Jones.
And Cleopatra Jones.
Isn't it so funny that Dina plays Cleopatra Jones, and then Beyonce was in an Awesome Power movie where
Yes,
she was
where
with
she played
Foxy.
where she
Yep.
was
Foxy
Cleopatra.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
thought that too.
Cleopatra.
Anyway.
And then I'm going to end on this one. And I just want to know if it's good. That's
Oh
why
my
I bring
God.
these movies up. The movie Freddy versus Jason
What's that to do with anything?
with Kelly Rowland.
I actually saw that movie, and Freddie and Kelly Rowland's like the one part that I remember with Kelly Rowland is like she's at like a salon or whatever,
Yes.
and she's looking at a magazine. And then she's like kind of like nodding up, and then like she's looking in the magazine, and Freddie pops up, and he puts his claws into her nose, and he goes, "Gotcha nose!" And then he rips it up, and blood just starts gushing
That's-
down. She's like, "Ah!" And
that
then she wakes
was-
up.
She's like, "How will I hit the notes?"
And then another thing that Freddy says to her in that movie is, "Oh, sweet dark meat."
Oh, no.
Is what he says.
I remember that.
It's what he says.
I remember
That's
that.
so gross.
Okay, but just are any of those movies good? Do you guys like any of those?
I like Carmen and hip hopper.
God, I thought that Carmen the Hip Hopper was pretty bad.
But it was so bad.
They're
I was
all
like, y'all
pretty bad.
made this thing? I was like, this is.
Well, and you know, Beyonce has been in talks to be in a remake of A Star Is Born.
She bought the rights to it.
She's the
Yeah,
star.
she's
I mean,
been-
she
She
can
bought
do
the
whatever
rights
she
to it.
wants.
She's really, I mean,
She's the best.
Yeah, she is definitely
A Star
one of the
Is
best.
Born.
She's the best.
She's probably the biggest star in the
no,
South.
but listen, I will say, I did think I remembered her acting as worse in this movie, and it really wasn't that bad.
Wasn't
I
that-
think
wasn't-
I think it
yeah,
was
it
a
wasn't.
mix of just like not good directing, not a really great character.
Yeah. She
so-
wasn't.
because it was not Beyonce's fault, guys. Because like,
wasn't.
It was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
No,
all,
I would
Beyonce's
never.
all good. All right,
Yup.
time for the cause. We rate films.
Ooh, wait.
So, but we have to. We now lose our opinion of the movie.
Yes, we do.
We don't rate the films based on how much we liked it. We rate it based on how much it helps the cause of more leading black actors in Hollywood.
I plead the
All
fifth.
right. So you
can't
can't play the fifth, and you
plead the
have to
fifth.
rate. So we give it either a black fist, meaning it fully helped the cause, a white palm, meaning it was so-so, kind of helped it, not fully, or nothing, meaning it didn't help the cause. On the count of 3, we're going to
I request a do later.
You can't. On the count of 3, we're going to throw up what we feel.
Can we start at 5?
Can we start at 5? I mean, what is that going to do?
You know what?
Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
You know what? Yeah, we're going to start at 5. Jerah, you have 2 extra seconds to think about this.
The 2 seconds matter.
All right. So Black Fist, a palm, or nothing. Did this film help the cause of more leading black actors in Hollywood? All right. Count of 3. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're a dummy. Okay, so we have a...
I almost
did a fist.
I almost did it, Jerah.
Okay, we got 3 black fists and 1 white palm. Do you want
Should
me
I go first? I'll go first.
Do you want to start? Okay.
I'll go first. The reason I gave it... this is Jerah. Hi, everybody.
Wait, this is Jerah?
I have some people that know this because they got confused.
It's the end of the podcast. Everyone knows who you are.
I actually feel really bad for not giving it a fist. The only reason... This movie did employ a lot of African Americans, which I thought was great. It did tell...
Jaleel White.
Yeah, it did. Man, the thing is...
Jaleel White? I almost forgot.
The thing is, the reason I gave this movie a palm and not nothing is because it employed African Americans. The reason I didn't want to give it a fist is because this movie, to me, perpetuated something that I'm tired of personally seeing in Hollywood. I think that there was time to make these characters more nuanced and give them more dimensions. And I think a movie like this that, you know, was in Oscar consideration and stuff like that puts a bad light on African Americans in fact, because the thing is, like, it awarded Jennifer Hudson, which I think she's a good actress, but it awarded her for a part that I think is a stereotype. I think she's a stereotype, and to me, with that, her winning that award perpetuates that stereotype going forward. So if you want to, like Franchesca said earlier on, if you want to win an Oscar, you kind of have to do a struggle film. You have to do one of these stereotypical roles, and I think that hurts us in a way. I think the fact that, you know, Jamie Foxx's character wasn't nuanced at all, and I don't know, again, whether it was the writing or how he was directed, but, like, that dude was evil from the first time you saw him to the end of that movie. And I don't think black men who want to help out a community and who, you know, I'm not saying he had to be like a savior, but I think he could have had some redeemable quality at some point in the movie that they focused on for, I don't know, 30 seconds, you know, like something. They could have gave him that. I don't think this movie helped black people. I just don't. I don't think the characters portrayed us in a good light. I don't think the fact that this movie got so much acclaim, it just felt like this movie, all in all, the fact that it was successful, the fact that it did get so much notoriety, hurt us way more than it helped us. That's just how I feel about it.
Okay, I gave it a black fist because there are a lot of black people in the movie. And one of the things I wrote down in my notes, with the exception of the white lawyer, all the white people are bad guys in this movie, which doesn't really happen very often. Like, when he's trying to, like, get money to, you know, build his business, he's going all these, like, white mobsters. So, like, that was kind of cool in the sense that we did see...
And the white people that stole his music.
And the white people that stole his music, exactly. So while the characters weren't that nuanced, it was really cool to see a record label where everyone working there was black, and to be, like, in a black neighborhood and see just, like, tons of different kinds of black actors. Like, I thought that was very cool. I love the music. Like, the music is really great. I think that it does fulfill the role of being a movie musical, and that it isn't very deep. I mean, I wish it was a little bit, like, had a little bit more nuance, but I think it was fun and light. You know, it's not like solving the world's problems or anything like that. And I'm happy again to see lots of black people working in film, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I agree with the black. Had so many black people in this movie. And I saw it in the theater. I paid money to see it. You know, like, I was excited about it. And, like, so I almost gave it a palm. So what I'm about to say might sound like I'm giving it a palm, but I gave it a fist. People love Dreamgirls. People love Dreamgirls. And a lot of people went to see this. And I think people saw it, and they were able to see, like, the dancers were all killing it, right? Like, just so many of the moving parts of this movie showed so many black people in a good light. That being said, stuff about it is hard, right? Like I felt like I love seeing Anika Noni Rose. I love seeing Keith Robinson in movies. But like Anika Noni Rose got no love. Like she has a scene where she like cries after Jimmy is dead, but like
it's really far away.
It's really far away. Like we don't get to see her up close. And I thought like,
but that was so powerful.
Stuff like that. I mean, yeah, right. But it was still powerful.
What did you like her scene with Eddie? After Eddie sings this Jimmy Got Soul song?
Oh, yeah.
It should have been camera shouldn't have moved. It should have been on her.
Yeah, it should have been on.
It should have been on her so we could feel the power. I don't know.
On her, right? Yeah, no. So stuff like that was I struggled with stuff like that. But I definitely think that like with a movie like this on a scale like this, it's great that a movie like this got made.
Yeah, so I gave it a fist because, I mean, for the first reason being like Franchesca was saying, employed a lot of black actors. I mean, Danny Glover is an amazing actor who doesn't get to be in roles all the time. He was great in this movie. Really like Jamie Foxx. Eddie Murphy almost got his first ever Academy Award. It was Alan Arkin that year who won.
Oh, was it?
Alan Arkin for Little Miss Sunshine, which I remember I was personally pissed about because I love Little Miss Sunshine. I think Alan Arkin was very funny and very amazing in that movie, but like they never give. It's kind of like I can understand why Eddie was so upset because to think about it, like they never give comedies recognition ever, and then
so he stepped out.
The one time they finally, and which is why Eddie never got nominated, and then the one time they like, you know what? Let's give it to a comedy person. It's when Eddie is doing a dramatic role. Like to think about that, it's like.
It was okay. Oh, we didn't talk about the Norbert. The Norbert effect is what did this in. Which do you want? Like basically, this movie. I think it was BS, but like the Oscars now, this thing called the Norbert effect. It's like he did.
What is that?
Basically,
did you do a terrible? Like
he did a terrible.
Movie?
Yeah, he did Norbert. Like while this movie, while the what do you call it? The Oscar buzz was happening. So people say that damaged.
Like Norbert came out like.
It came out in January, and
February.
That's when the push was happening, and it's like you can't have a bad movie.
Yeah, and he had already won the SAG and the Golden Globe. Anyway, they did give it to Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson, like I still think she deserved it just because, you know, like they give the award to other people for movie musicals sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody who wins the Academy Award is like the best actress that year.
True.
Or supporting actress or whatever. And like, anyway, so the movie like got a bunch of Academy nominations. So it was seen. It was a commercial success. A lot of people got to see it. Plus, it was a musical. Hollywood is pumping out movie musicals all the time, and like there are great black. You know, musical. Well, there actually aren't as many, obviously, but there are some, and Dreamgirls was one of them. It won Tony Awards, and it took it a really long time for it to get to the big screen. And so, you know, by the time it did, I think it was still, even with all the problems that it had, it was still better than like Mamma Mia and like, you know, The Producers and like other musicals that like people love and saw, like Hairspray. Like these are musicals that were super, super popular on Broadway, and they made it to the movies, and people are like,
and Les Mis.
Les Mis. I mean, and Les Mis got some award. I actually see. I saw Les Mis, and this is the thing. This is my counter argument to you is that I saw Les Mis, the Broadway version of it, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. I remember when I saw it, like I was like, when an intermission came, I like heavily considered leaving, but I was like, I can't. I paid for this.
Did you like the movie?
But the movie was entertaining for me. Like I didn't like come out going like, oh my God, that was amazing. But I was like, I didn't hate it, you know? And I liked the movie more than I liked the play. And like, but sometimes like Rent, they screwed up Rent, right? Like,
They definitely did.
So I mean, like, I feel like, yes, like it's a hard thing to transition a musical to a movie, but I thought this did it like a pretty good job. And as far as the stereotype stuff, it's like, yeah, I agree. There's a representation problem, but I'm not going to fault Dreamgirls for it. I don't think anybody left this movie thinking. I don't think white people left this movie thinking like all black people are sassy and all black people are scheming too tight. Like I feel like they looked and they were like, oh yeah, black people.
That's what we normally see. That's how they act.
See, I don't think
that's them.
I don't think
that was accurate.
I don't think that's true.
I
mean, I think they go, yeah, like man, when money and fame gets involved, like people do messed up stuff. Like people cheat. Like
You
male
felt like
characters
this was more
cheat
a movie
all the time.
about fame than it was about.
Yeah, I think it was a movie about fame. It's like glitz and glamour, which to me, I was like, you know what? How many times do I get to see a movie with where all the black people are freaking rich? It's rare. And I agree. Like Ray was when? Before this, right?
It was 04.
So like Ray was kind of like, it was a similar, there was like a theme, like, okay, now you're doing like, but you know, those times like,
see, but Ray is
there was
different.
a lot of cheating that was happening. Like,
yeah, but Ray was like, again, Ray was, because the movie was about Ray, we had an opportunity to see different levels of Ray. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have so many opinions about Ray.
I guess what I'm saying is like,
Can't talk
look,
about Ray right now.
If you're a type of person that's going to watch a thing and then if you're like a white person who's going to watch something and only focus on the bad stuff that the black people are doing and not relate to the emotional stuff that they're saying, then like you'll probably do that no matter what. You'll watch Ray and think the same thing. You'll be like, see, freaking black people, no matter what, like the best of them are still terrible. Like if you're like that racist, like I feel like you can watch, because unless you're not a human being, you're going to do things that are messed up.
that.
See, I don't think that Dreamgirls is gonna like make people see black people in a bad way. I think for me, it's more about like seeing diverse representations for our own people.
Yeah.
Like for young kids to watch that and to just see us in different ways. Like sometimes it has nothing to do with like white people consuming it. It's just like a chance to see a girl that is angry, but like you see why she's angry, and you just like you know what I mean.
Well,
you can
I guess
see yourself in it.
Totally.
Maybe.
No, that makes sense. And so for me, it was like Dreamgirls. The movie was a chance for little black kids to see a movie musical where all of the characters are black, and the one like Chicago, which came out in actually 2002, like the only black character was a freaking sassy fat black. You know what I mean?
Did Queen Latifah win for that?
No, but she was nominated.
She was nominated for that.
And it was like, that was like the only black, as opposed to this movie where that wasn't the only black character.
See,
you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's more stuff there, and we get to do this thing that other people are doing. So I'm not saying it's the be all end all, but and also Jennifer Hudson would not have an acting career without this movie. You know what I mean? Beyonce wouldn't have an acting career without, like, this movie legitimized it to a certain degree. They were like, we can put you in some other stuff. Jamie Foxx kept going on her role.
She hasn't. Well,
I know, but that's because Jennifer Hudson isn't a great actress. Isn't a great actress.
Is she on Broadway right now?
But what I'm saying is she wouldn't have.
She just ended. She just ended it.
But what I'm saying is, like, she wouldn't have. Like, this movie gave her the opportunity because it gave her the clout.
No, it's true.
You know what I mean? And it gives clout. So in terms of that, I was like, yeah, and it kept Jamie Foxx's career rolling. It made Eddie Murphy, respectable again, and then he freaking did a bunch of other crappy movies, and he lost.
He did Norbit, and people got mad.
But he did and then he was like, "F you, Academy, I'll just make my money," and did like 1,000 words. And
you got everyone doing, and I am telling you, at American Idol over and over and over again.
Can I ask a question? I know we're ending, but once Jamie Foxx's character got into the picture, right? Most of the scenes with, I just asking if am I right or wrong? Because what I remember, anytime I saw a scene with Beyonce's character and Jennifer Hudson, it was never about just the two of them. Somehow, like,
You're
Jamie
right.
Foxx
This movie didn't fail the Bechdel test.
No, because
it was kind of did.
Yeah, because after once Jamie is introduced into the movie, this movie, like, their conversation become about men, right? Because even I'm telling you, isn't that about?
They become about men, or they become about the plight of being trying to be famous. But
Even with
all
the
of that
two
is
of them, though?
all of that is connected to him anyway, right? Like,
But I'm saying, but do the dreams ever talk about just fame alone without talking about, like, Jamie when they're alone on camera together?
I don't think
That is a good question.
No, I don't really think so.
I doubt it. I think there's I doubt it. I doubt it was. I doubt it's only a scene.
Early on.
scenes when, like, they're getting ready to do the competition where they're like kind of getting ready, that type of stuff. But
once Jamie's introduced, it's like,
Jamie's introduced.
do they ever talk about? Do they ever? I mean, I don't know. Like, do they ever talk about, like, oh, we're going to be rich now? This, like, I would love if you heard, like, Jennifer Hudson saying, like, I'm going to be, like, really rich. I'm going to buy my mom this. I'm going to, whatever.
Yeah,
but, like,
our lives are about to change.
Yeah.
Like, we're about to be famous. Like,
You're right.
Nothing like that happened.
You're right. They had a lot to do with the men.
Yeah.
like, I don't know, man. I just think, and I'm not saying this, like, everyone has their opinion. I just,
Which I think is a different issue, though.
No,
It's
no,
like a
I'm saying, but
sexism
that's the thing is, like, this movie, like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure black women don't just talk about dudes all the time. You know, when they're by themselves, I'm pretty sure they talk about many different things. And we had a movie that was 2 hours and 10 minutes. And maybe for 10
It was
minutes.
never really about their relationship
At all.
You're right.
The girl's relationship.
And until the very end, where when that scene happens, you're like, logically, I understand this scene, but you're right. We haven't laid down the foundation.
And then even then, she's like,
the movie does span 15, 20 years. Which is also why we struggle with the storytelling of it, too.
And they only make Effie get older.
Yeah, I literally said to James, watching, like, did nobody age in this movie?
Only Effie aged.
Yo, Cece looks like he's 25, like the
entire movie. They didn't even give him, like, the beard they normally do in movies.
Like, they just, like, didn't make this dude age at all.
Like,
Anyway.
Nobody. Beyonce
His
still
fro grew out.
Eddie
His
looked
fro
like-
Eddie
grew
did.
out.
Eddie did. Eddie
Well,
did.
that was supposedly why Beyonce lost a lot of weight to play in
She
this
did.
movie, so that she could look young. And she does look very young. I think they kind of do her makeup so that she
Yeah.
looks a lot younger at the
Yeah.
very beginning, and then they like heavy makeup and make her a little more sexual looking. But Effie is the only one because they change her hair. She has like this wet Jerry. Listen, the hair was.
She apparently blew all her money, too.
There were a lot of like different hairstyles
Yeah,
in this
I
movie,
know.
and they kind of did that to show, I guess.
All right. This was a long one, but it was good. Cool.
Oh, thanks for
Also,
coming.
yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad we were able to make it happen.
Yeah. Is there
Yes.
anything we can plug? Any social media stuff? Or
MTV Decoded comes out on the MTV News YouTube channel, youtube.com/MTV News every Wednesday.
there we go.
Yup.
And the nightly
Subscribe.
show is Monday through Thursday, 11:30 on Comedy Central.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll see you guys next week. We'll do plugs, and then we'll see you next week. Bye. Hey guys, Jonathan Braylock here, doing some plugs all by myself. First off, at Black Men Podcast, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Like us on Facebook, blackmenpodcast.com. Also, leave a review on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Why not? Spread the good word. You can go to blackmenpodcast.com for some photos and show dates. Speaking of shows, we got some LA shows coming up. That's right. Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood is going to Hollywood. Come on out August 18th, 23rd, and the 22nd, actually. We're going to be at UCB LA in Franklin doing Astronomy Clubs Presents A Journey Through Black History. On the 22nd, is why I paused, we got an improv show. So come on out to that. And Black Men Can't Jump is doing a live recording at the Hollywood Improv Saturday, August 20th. That's right. At the Hollywood Improv. Some more details will be coming out for that, but stay tuned. You can follow me on @JohnBraylock, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. James 3rd Comedy, James 3RD Comedy, on all his social media accounts, and @Jerah Milligan, except for Snapchat. That's just @Jerah M. And next week, we are reviewing the film City of God. That's right, City of God. It's a Brazilian film. Okay, we're going a little international. We have a special guest, Jordan Carlos. You know him from Guy Code. You know him from The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore. Very funny. Provided a lot of great insights. So please stay tuned next week for that. We'll see you. Peace.
That was a HeadGum podcast.